Let's spend a few minutes today talking about how your friends may be impacting your wallet. What's up, everyone? Thank you for stopping by the Achieve Financial Coaching channel, where we believe in breaking the chains of debt and talking about all things related to personal finance. I am Kenny Simon. I am your personal finance coach. And today I want to talk about your friends. Not in a bad way or in a gossipy way, but just in a way to give you some food for thought. Have you ever thought about the fact that you may do too many things to keep up with what your friends are doing? Just things like that. I want to give you some food for thought today to think about how your friends really may be impacting your finances, and it may be in ways that you don't necessarily recognize. So I have 5 quick ways I think that friends impact your wallet in a negative way. Then I have about 4 things I want to talk about in terms of how you can fix that. Let's get started with today's video, but before we do that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and share this with some friends. Let's get started. Okay, I want to start today's video off with 2 quotes. You know, sometimes I like to do quotes to start these videos just to give you, as I like to say a lot, food for thought. I'm not minimizing the importance of friends, by the way, in this video. I just think that as we get older, we do need to start thinking about the company we keep, and we need to choose our friends wisely. So 2 quotes. One is by Jim Rohn, who's an author, entrepreneur, and speaker, and one of the first folks I ever read about that talked about this concept of the people you hang with. And he says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." The next quote is by Oprah Winfrey. And Oprah says, "Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will ride the bus with you when the limo breaks down." Definitely good food for thought when you're thinking about the people that you call your friends. Okay, so I want to break today's chat down into sort of 2 sections. So on the left side, I'll put some things that you are doing with your friends that will keep you broke. And then on the right side of the screen, I'll put some things that you can do and talk about some things you can do to sort of stay on track with not only your finances, but these things will help you stay on track with your life in general. So let's jump right in. The first thing that will keep you broke is poor money habits can look fun. So listen, your friends may be irresponsible with money, and that may rub off on you if you compare yourselves to them. It may look like they're doing well with all of their things, and that makes you feel some type of way, right? When you see like their pictures of trips or cars or these great places they're eating out on social media. Seems fun, right, at the time. And when you join them, it seems like you're living it up at the time until you have to pay for it. Okay, the next thing is you eat out a lot. So think about it. You eat out several days a week. You eat lunch and dinner out, and maybe even breakfast, or you maybe even stop for drinks, every now and then for a happy hour. You'd be surprised at how much you spend over the course of a year on unnecessary meals, dinners, and things like that. Trust me, you should check it out. The next thing is you feel obligated to buy gifts. You almost feel guilty if you don't. So every birthday, wedding, baby shower, or holiday for your circle requires lavish gifts or dinners, right? Because it's Leo season, it's my birthday month, like all these different things you hear where people really want to celebrate another trip around the sun, or big moments. You don't necessarily have to be breaking the bank to buy them gifts. And if they're your real friend, sometimes your presence is good. It's a good enough gift. I think people are shallow when they have these things and they make people feel obligated to buy them gifts. You don't owe anybody anything but to be an honest and good friend. All right. The next thing is travel. This is a big one. There are way too many girls and guys trips going on with people who don't have the money, right? Right now in Atlanta, we got the Atlanta Braves playing in the World Series, and everybody's spending $1,000 on baseball tickets. And I'm sitting in my house with a front row seat watching all the action too. I get it. It's not the same as being there, but I'm not giving up $1,000 to go sit in the cold weather to watch baseball, right? So listen, everyone may not have the same financial situation, but you go ahead and you swipe that card anyway to go, even though your situation's tight. You have FOMO, right? You have this fear of missing out. But I think you should really evaluate how much you travel and plan your travel a little bit better and pay for it so that when you get there, you can really enjoy it and you're not worried about how you're going to pay for it later. The next thing is social pressure to do what everyone else is doing. So it's highly likely that your friends don't have your best interest or your situation in mind when they're thinking about doing what they want to do. So they encourage you to do whatever they do. They encourage you to drive how they drive. They encourage you to live how they live and buy a house because they bought a house and surely you can afford it, right? I was listening to a radio station the other day when I was driving, and there was a woman that called in asking for advice. She really called in asking for advice on how do their group of friends tell one of their friends that she needs to level up because the way she drives and what she dresses was embarrassing to them. Because she drove something like an Oldsmobile, and these were pretty young women, like early to mid 20s, right? And they were like, it's embarrassing to go out with her. Listen, don't yield to social pressure. Your friends may be broke, or they may be a trust fund baby with millions. You may not know their specific situation, but you know yours. Your financial mindset and situations may be completely different. So why would you think or that you should or could live the same lifestyle as someone else? Don't try to keep up with the Joneses, okay? Now, how do we fix these things? I have 4 quick things on how we fix it. The first thing I think you need to do is have boundaries and let your friends know. I saw a t-shirt that said, be you, they will adjust. And this is so true. Don't let anyone push you into spending or doing anything you don't want to do. I'm a much older man these days. And to this day, I haven't done certain things that people have tried to push me to do since I was a kid, like, smoking a little bit and drinking a little bit. To this day, I don't do any one of those things, right? So have your own boundaries. People will respect you for it in the end. Second thing is set your own standards. These should be based on your personal preferences, not what your friends are doing. These should be based on things that you like and what you can responsibly afford, and places you can reasonably go and pay for. Don't live your life based on what you see people doing on social media. Social media is terrible that way. You cannot base your life on the highlights people put on social media. They don't put all the downtimes. They just put the highlights and how they're living it up, right? Live within your own means. It's ridiculously important. And speaking of living within your means, the third thing is to live on a budget. Budgeting requires discipline and patience. I know I talk about budgets a lot, but it's because it's important. No matter how little or how much money you have, you need to have one. Live on a budget. Use the discipline and patience that it takes to do that. These 2 skills pay dividends in your life beyond just money. Okay. And then the fourth thing, if all else fails, get a new circle. I talk to my kids about it all the time. Like if you get a handful of very good friends over your life, you've done well, right? Most people are just associates. But if all else fails, man, get a new circle. People that genuinely care about you and will not put you in a situation that will cause you financial stress or any other type of stress for that matter. People who are responsible and they have qualities that reflect positive values, right? Don't get comfortable with people who aren't going anywhere or doing anything positive. It's not going to lead you anywhere great. So I hope after going through that information, you just have a little bit of information that, to give you some food for thought, as I always like to say, right? Just things that I want to present to you. You take the information in and then you make your own decisions. You're an adult. You get to do that. But there are just some ways when we talk about the areas of personal finance that I believe we don't really think about in terms of what may be impacting our ability to not afford some of the things that we really need. We're trying to create experiences. We're all trying to enjoy life. Especially these last couple of years, things have been a little bit tough, but it's still not an excuse to go broke trying to keep up with what your friends are doing. And if your friends are really your friends, they'll take some of your personal situation into consideration before making those decisions. If you have a friend who says they're your close friend and they put pressure on you to fly across the globe to go somewhere and they know you're broke, I don't think that's a good friend. I think that's a selfish friend. So you need to reevaluate some of those relationships to see who really has your best interests at heart, who's really thinking about holistically who you are as a person if they call themselves your friend, right? So I would reevaluate all things that are impacting my personal finance. And unfortunately, that may include you sort of stepping away from a few folks who really don't care about your personal finances. They don't care how broke you are. They don't care how much you're struggling, as long as they get to have a good time with you whenever you all decide to do whatever you decide to do. Remember this, you can achieve much greater things than where you are today if you're willing to put in the work. Conceive it, believe it, and achieve it. I'll see you on the next video.